Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamika. This is the Library of Tomes, where I talk to you about all the bookish things going on in my life. I decided I'm finally gonna do the Lowkey F2020 tag, which was created by my dear friend Izzy from Happy For Now. I can't go a video without mentioning Izzy, so let's just do this. Let's do the Lowkey F2020 book tag. Only 8 questions long, so let's go ahead and hop into it. Like I said, Izzy will be linked in the description. She is my booktube bestie and my big sister, so if you want to go check her out, I really recommend her, obviously, because I love her with my entire heart and soul. Number 1 is share some good stuff that's happened in 2020, and then we'll share some bad stuff, huh? Wow, what a great question to start with. I truly do not have a good thing that's happened. Actually, yes I do. I do have one good thing that's happened. And you all are not going to be shocked that the answer to the one good thing that's happened in 2020. One, I got a new job. I'm no longer a journalist, which was honestly a breath of fresh air. Like, thank goodness we are not in that situation anymore. But here is the thing I really, really want to show you all that has happened in 2020 that has honestly been the best part of 2020. I got Phoenix in 2020. So this is Phoenix. I'm sure you all have seen her before, obviously. This is Phoenix. She wants down, so we're gonna put her down. So I got Phoenix in 2020. I got her in January of 2020, very early this year. And Phoenix was not planned per se. My friend had, her 2 dogs had puppies, and if you've seen Dallas, I love pit bulls. And I specifically like to rescue pit bulls, and that's kind of what I want to continue doing. I adopted him in 2018, and I didn't adopt her, but she didn't really have anywhere to go. My friend was very, very specific in the requirements for people getting the puppies, because the only thing she required was you to pay for their first set of shots. Like, other than that, the dogs were completely free. So specifically, she just wanted to find a good home for all the dogs. So I really want to adopt pit bulls. I love them. I think they are one of the most beautiful dog breeds, and I hate how mistreated they are, because they are honestly big babies. So I really, really wanted her, and she's the best part of 2020 so far, other than getting my new job. I love her a lot. She is honestly the sweetest baby in the whole world. She's actually really mean compared to Dallas though. So they are the cutest babies, and I love them so much. So yeah, the best part of 2020 for me has been getting Phoenix. And I can't believe it's coming up on a year since I've had her. Because in January it'll be a whole year since she has been a part of my family, and her birthday is actually just in a couple days, which is really exciting. Her first birthday. So that's the good stuff. Do I have to talk about the bad stuff? Because I feel like 2020 has just been a shit show on top of shit show. The bad stuff. Well, I was originally getting married in 2020, and then it got postponed because of COVID. And then I was getting married in September, but it got postponed because of COVID. And now I'm not getting married at all. Supernatural ended. It's been a year. I have struggled more with my mental health this year than any other year. It's been a year. But I'm looking upwards from this point. Not getting married is actually a good thing. So I'm happy and sad about that, but more happy than anything. But yeah. That's the good and the bad of 2020. We're moving on now. So the next question is, what book did you love at the beginning of the year? And I'm gonna go for the first 6 months of the year, and I'm actually gonna go with, are you surprised? Please don't be surprised. This is honestly, is this gonna end up on my favorites list of the year? I loved this book. I really, really loved this book. This is The Black Fox by Brianna Hill. This is a book that follows Lolita and Zacharias. Zacharias is pretty much a Zorro. It's a Zorro retelling, and he has this curse that the person he falls in love with, it's not gonna work out for some reason. I don't remember specifically why. And he falls in love with his stepdaughter, which It's interesting. It's very steamy. It's very short. It's a very fun read, very quick read. And I loved it. And just for your context, this is Daddy Kink. So if you're not into Daddy Kink, don't pick this book up. But if you are, you're interested, you're remotely curious, I loved this book. A book that you were looking forward to that ended up not being great. So I don't know if this was supposed to be a 2020 release specifically, but I'm gonna go with one that's not. I'm doing On the Rocks by Candy Steiner. I'm specifically doing this book in particular because I really had high hopes for Candy Steiner and like this book and this series in general. And honestly, when I started it, I was really enjoying it. I really like the small town feel that the story had. However, my real big issue is the emotional cheating in this story, and I've made it very, very clear on my channel that I hate cheating in books. It is a trope that you almost never can pull off for me, which the very rare instance was the Brianna Hale that I just held up. But this book is following a girl who is engaged to someone, and she starts falling for this dude who is like a really popular dude from the town that she grew up in. Her dad's like a politician. He wants her to marry another politician. And like no one's asking her if she's even happy in this relationship and happy to be getting married so young. And like I understand that she's got a lot of issues she's working through because of this. No one's looking out for what's better for her. Has an attraction to this dude. And he has an attraction to her, and they almost kiss, and they keep going to be friends and hanging out, and I can't get behind it. I think it was absolutely a horrible choice, and I don't understand why it was done. A book that surprised you this year, and for me, a book that really surprised me was Highland Hellion, which was that's the second book. Highland Spitfire, which is the first book in the Highland Wedding series by Mary Wine. And the reason this book surprised me so much is because I did not think that I liked historical romance. I still don't own a copy of this book. It is one of my favorite books of the year. I absolutely love this. This is a Highlander romance, and it's an enemies to lovers. It's basically a forced arranged marriage, so that the two families don't, the two dads of these two families don't die. These two children have to get married in order to make an alliance with the other one. So it is a really fun story, and I really, really like that one. This is a really good story, and I really liked the way that the story kind of unfolds, and how our heroine doesn't just get like this free pass because she was forced into this marriage. Like she really has to earn her place in this family, and I think it's a really beautiful thing to see, like just how far that hatred went between the two families. And seeing them overcome that, it was absolutely beautiful, and I really, really loved the story, and I loved the chemistry between our hero and our heroine. Absolutely beautiful, and I really recommend this to everyone, and I really love the story, and I cannot wait to read more from this series, and I can't wait to own a physical copy of it because I really, really love this book. And this is honestly one of my biggest shocks of 2020, and I truly still cannot believe that a historical romance is in my top favorite books of the year, because I never would have told you that would have happened if you would have asked me that even a year ago. Next question is, what is a book that you like but you don't think people talk about enough? For me, I'm gonna go with one I read last year, and that is The Breakup Bet by Kat Carman. This book is one of my favorite books of 2018. This is a brother's best friend romance, and I just don't feel like enough people talk about this. I have convinced a couple people to read it, and they have really enjoyed it. This one is just really fun. It's a steamy rom-com between these two characters who are both kind of in a hard situation. They've both ended relationships, and the hero is struggling. He has basically ditched his entire life in another area and moved in with his brother's best friend, and the girl who is just ended a relationship with a dude that she thought was going to be the perfect guy to marry, and he ended up not being that. And it's really fun watching them use each other's methods of trying to get over their breakup and move on and find love again, and watching them fall in love in the process. It is honestly beautiful. And this is one of the few stories that has actually made me question, am I gonna get my HEA? And I love it. It is a beautiful story, and I want everyone to read this. This question is a book that you want to come out already in this year. Okay, so this one I am gonna use a Brianna Hale because all of these books were supposed to be out, and it's not out now, and I'm irritated. I want to conclude this series, but I cannot push Brianna to put another book out that she's not ready to put out. So, so I read the first two books in this series. I cannot remember what it's called. The Court of Parville. I honestly cannot pronounce words, to be quite honest. This is the first book. This is Devram's Court. The second book is Breaking Her In. I want the rest of this series out. I liked this one, but I did not love Breaking Her In. I actually was not a fan of it basically at all. I really, really, really want to finish this series. So I hope she puts the last one out in December. Just do me the solid, put it out for me. I'll read it and I will be very happy and I'll give you a lot of money. So Brianna, please give me that book. That's what I got though. Like, I know Brianna Howell has another release coming out, but honestly, where it's November, I just don't know any other releases that are coming out this late in the year that I would even want to put on this list. What was a book you were looking forward to that got pushed to 2021? Honestly, I'm gonna be real frank with you all. None. None of the books that I was excited for got pushed because I only really read indie romances. So I don't know if the books got pushed to 2021 because the authors never came out and told me otherwise. So I really don't have an answer. The only one I could say is the third book in that Helen Huang series. I can't remember the name of. First one's The Kiss Quotient. The second one is The Bride Test. I did want to read the third book. I've actually not read the second book because I'm waiting on the third book to come out because I want to kind of read them kind of close together. Other than that, there's not another book that I really want to read that has been pushed. The last question is, what book will you think of whenever you think of 2020? Okay, so I have an answer for this. I didn't think I did, but I've got one. Are you ready for it? Because it's going to be interesting. So 2020 has been a literal train wreck for me from the moment that it started until this moment in time. I feel like I need a year-long break after 2020. And for me, the book that I'm thinking will remind me the most of 2020 and I will think about when I think about 2020 is going to be the House of Isidore, the Queen of Vampire series. I'm going to put the cover up on here, obviously. This series is, I'm going to think about this because this series is the wildest thing that I can think about. And honestly, let's just say the entirety of the wild books that I've read this year, this series was like crack. It was honestly so hard to put down. I finished the entire series in a week. It busted a reading slump for me. It was insane. I will also quietly mention The Skeleton King because that book also busted a slump for me. And I feel like that book honestly kind of sums up 2020. Like, it is a train wreck. No, I don't really recommend you read it. I mean, if you want to read it and you want to complain and you want to vent to me about it and understand the pain of reading that story, I mean, go for it, but really don't read it. Like, if you want to know what's going on in it, go watch Izzy's vlog because it honestly sums up the book. But I think those are the two things. Like, the wild books that I read this year really kind of make a full picture of all of the wild stuff that's happened in 2020. So I feel like I'm going to look back at 2020 and be like, wow, those are some wild books. And those remind you a lot of that wild time in your life. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I think that's my answer. I think the wild books that I read in 2020 are the ones that I'm gonna remember as 2020. Like, remember when I think about 2020. All right, those are all of the questions. This is the tag. I am happy that I finally got around to doing this. Sorry, Izzy, that I have been a hot mess express and I have taken 20 years to do it. I am not going to tag anyone, but if you want to do this tag, please go ahead and do that. I might leave a couple people in the comments, but just off the top of my head, I'm not going to tag anyone. This is a fun tag if you want to try to squeeze it in before the end of the year. And with that being said, if you want to be my friend on any other platform, I have all my links in the description. I have Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads all linked down below. And if you want to buy any of the books that I've mentioned, there is affiliate links down there if you want to check them out. And also, don't forget that I do romance content 3 times a week. Normally, we're getting there 3 times a week. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And with that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone. Rosie.